Hi, I'm Shalane, this is Dean, and we are
Grassroots Living.
And this is how we live our love. Hi friends, we are so glad you're with us again. Today we're going to be talking about work camping. Living Light RV. Their channel is amazing and they are amazing. We love them. They're good friends.
Yes, they are.
They actually just ask us a few questions that they're going to put the answers to on their channel, but then we thought, well, we'll share on our channel. So that's what we're doing today. Just sharing some information about work camping because we know a lot of you guys ask us questions. We get asked questions all the time about work camping. So we have other work camping videos that we'll link for you, but today we're just going to do a little Q&A. Okay, so the first one, people ask us, where are some of the places that you've worked?
Now we've had 3 of our experiences have been as campground hosts. We've done National Forest Campground working for American Land and Leisure. It was up at 10,000 feet, beautiful. We'll talk more about that later. We've worked at KOA. At a KOA campground in Cedar City, Utah.
Yeah.
And then currently we're here at Smithville Lake where we're working as campground hosts.
So pretty. Now the campground hosting positions were all extremely different from each other. So when you go into a campground host position, you're definitely going to want to ask some questions and just find out what exactly it entails, because American Land and Leisure, we were, like you said, up at 10,000 feet at a little campground, about 60 some sites.
Yeah. 61 sites,
and
no electricity anywhere in the park, including the campground host site.
Right. And we pretty much ran that campground ourselves. We did all of the fee collecting, the fire pit cleaning, the restroom cleaning. Sure. We pretty much ran the whole campground. We loved that because we were kind of our own boss kind of situation. We didn't have to work with any crankies or anything. And then with KOA, that was, if you're familiar with KOA, you know, it's like a little office / store type thing when you go in to register and people help check you in and that kind of thing, and you take reservations, right? So we're not out and about in the campground much. He was more than myself because you did propane filling and swimming pool cleaning.
Right.
Right.
And I escorted people to their sites.
And helped people when they couldn't get their slide outs in.
Yeah. That is true.
And then here at Smithville Lake, we're working in this little tiny office type thing. Like when you drive up to the window.
It's kind of like a glorified fee booth.
Yeah,
yeah,
like a fee booth. So those were all 3 very, very, very different. And we've really loved our campground hosting experiences, and some people can't stand it. So ask different people about their experiences and ask, you know, what you're getting into when you are getting into it.
Yeah.
Ask some questions. What's it going to look like? What's your job description going to be?
Now we've also worked for a couple of warehouse jobs. Amazon, I think most people know, hire a lot of work campers every year over a wide variety of different locations throughout the United States. And also this last winter we worked for JCPenney, which had the same thing. Now they've also expanded out with the coronavirus and the foreclosures, bankruptcy of JCPenney's. I have no idea what they're doing with their work camping program. So that's certainly something you'd want to check out if you were interested in that. Yeah,
that's kind of a big question mark, a big if this year. We don't know what's going on with those.
And we did a big video comparing working with Amazon and JCPenney.
Right.
So
you walk a lot with those jobs.
Yes, you do.
Okay. We also worked at a motel, the Beatty. Was it called the Beatty Motel?
I think it was.
It's called
El Portal.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's the portal to Death Valley National Park.
Death Valley National Park. And that was in Beatty, Nevada, and that was a completely different job. He did some maintenance and even housekeeping. Yeah. I actually was a bit of a nanny for the owners, so they could go out and work the hotel, and I got to watch their 3 kids. So completely different kind of job, and we loved that. Of course, we loved the people that ran the hotel. Good friends of ours. So, and we like Beatty and we like Death Valley National Park, so that was good for us. the location, you know, a lot of times when you go to find a work camping job, you know, you wonder, where am I going to go? Well, that's your choice. You decide where in the United States you want to go to play, and then you find a job there.
That's right.
That's what we do. We also worked
At an amusement park.
At an amusement park at Adventureland in Iowa. And it's not because we wanted to go play in Iowa, though we found Iowa to be surprisingly beautiful.
It really was.
We were so surprised. We've got some videos on that. I'll link it for you.
Yeah, I just imagined it was one big cornfield on the east side of Iowa, then Des Moines, and then a cornfield on the west side. But it's way more than that.
It's actually so pretty. But we have family in northern Missouri, and that's how we ended up at Adventureland, because it was, you know, relatively close to family.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have a work review on Adventureland.
That's true.
So, and I think I gave Adventureland a C or a C plus as far as a work camping job on that video. But, you know, once all the dust settled and you think about the good memories, you know, I think I said in that video that I wouldn't necessarily want to go back, but I kind of think I would.
Well, we almost did.
We almost did.
Yeah. We would have gone there this year.
We actually, yeah, we had a job there this year, but it took them so long to open that we had to go ahead and take a different position.
Yeah.
Okay. We also worked for Bolin. You've probably heard of Bolin Travel Centers.
So if you think of, like, as you're going down the interstate, you see Pilots and Flying J's and Loves. Well, this is a place called Bolin, and it's another travel center. We just pick up traffic off the interstate.
So those are our work camping jobs, but you know, we're both former teachers, and we actually did a year or two, I think it was
2 years.
2 years, where we lived in the RV and we're actually still teaching. And so it wasn't a work camping job per se, but it was still work camping for us. And the reason I bring that up is because you might be thinking, well, when I retire, or you might be nervous, well, what if I go on the road and I don't like it and then I've given up my job? There's nothing that says that you can't get your RV and live in your RV while you're still doing your like normal job. That way you can kind of put your toes in the water.
Sure.
Just wanted to mention that so you could kind of get that in your head, that maybe you can keep your job and still try full-time RVing. See the shadows dancing on my face from the tree above us? Can you see me now? Okay. What was our favorite work camping position, and you know why? So for me, my favorite was when we worked for American Land and Leisure, which that company is now called Utah Rec.
No, that's not true.
Oh, clarify, because you're right.
Yeah, American Land and Leisure still exists, but they lost the contract to the Trial Lake Campground, which is we were at.
Right.
And which is now run by Utah Rec.
So American Land and Leisure is still in existence. They have their own campground. The campgrounds that we worked at for AL&L are now run by Utah Rec.
Right.
Now, and I had mentioned that before, that was my favorite, just because we were up in the mountains and we just kind of were running our own show up there.
All right.
And what was yours?
Okay, mine would also be American Land and Leisure. It was our first work camping job.
Yeah.
And, you know, it had so many things that many people would not really thrive at. There was no electricity at the site the entire summer. In fact, it was up at 10,000 feet, so it took us a couple of weeks to catch our breath just walking down the trails.
It really did.
You know, had no internet, no cell service, so we always had to drive into town, which is about 15-20 minutes down the road.
mountain.
Yeah, down the mountain to get there. So there were so many things that many people would look at and go, well, why in the world would that be your favorite? We spent so much quality time together because neither one of us were on our phones. It was just wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful.
It was fun to be unplugged for a little bit. The sun is moving. And then what was our worst or our least favorite? You know, all of our experiences have just been different from each other. There are some that are more fun than others. Obviously, we love being outdoors and we love camping. So the winter jobs, as far as like warehouse work, that's kind of where you just go and you put your head down and you just plow through it, and that's your money making. You really make a lot more money for the most part. You make a lot more money in the winter when you do the warehouse jobs. Is that as fun as your summertime jobs where you get to be outside and play? Not so much, but you know, it's not so bad. You get to work with a lot of great people and pocket a lot of good money.
Right. Yeah, and I would have to say that's probably my least favorite would be the warehouse jobs. The question is, was it horrible? No, it wasn't horrible. We would do it again if we were in a pinch and we needed some extra money. We would definitely go ahead and do it. But the truth of the matter is, you know, it's not my favorite one. But I would do it.
Yeah, we would do it. Okay, just a couple more things. How do you find work? Where do you go to find work?
Workamper News is a good place. It's a go-to for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people like it because they have like what they call a jobs hotline.
Yeah.
And you can just go to a website and you'll see maybe 10 or 15 different positions sometimes a day coming up throughout the United States and in Canada. I have seen some in Canada as well. So it's a great resource. Again, between $40 and $50 a year, and you have access to that, a magazine that comes out every 2 months. I know a couple of our jobs we've gotten through that.
Well, what I like most about workcampernews.com is that you can put kind of a little bit of a generic resume on there. They have a resume, and so you can fill that out, and then anytime you want to apply for a position or somebody wants to look at your resume, all you have to do is give them that link. So you don't have to send resumes to different people. You just send that link, and then they just pull it up. And the other thing I like is that employers that want to find work campers will go to Work Camper News and go through, and we've had several people call us and said, hey, I saw your resume on Work Camper News, we'd like to offer you this. So I really like that because they just call you and you have just a running resume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This job that we have here at Smithville Lake, we found at a website called workcampingjobs.com. So, and there's Workers on Wheels, Happy Vagabonds. There's lots of other websites out there that will cater towards work camper positions.
Yeah.
So things to think about. Networking. How many jobs have we been offered just with coworkers who've been, hey, I'm a manager this summer, please come out and work with us. I can't tell you the number of jobs that have come up because of that. Just you're networking with other people, you're talking with other people, you're, maybe the kind of people that we're looking for. So network.
Yeah, that's one good thing about the warehouse jobs in the winter. There's so many work campers that work there, and they all talk about jobs that they've had, would do, wouldn't do, who you should call, who you shouldn't call. Networking.
Yeah, that's right. And RV shows. We were just at Quartzsite this last winter.
We'll link that.
And we went to the RV show there, and I want to say there were 13 different companies looking for work campers.
At least,
out there. And some of them, even though we went to their booth, we talked to them, we didn't take their position for that following summer, but we found that 3 years later or whatever, because we attended it, I think 4 years ago, we found ourselves working at the same job that we first learned about it at the RV show.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay has RV shows. I'm sure they have work camping positions there as well.
Yeah, we actually worked the AL&L, the American Land and Leisure booth there a few years ago.
Right, at the Quartzsite.
Too, and then not just the tent show, but again, you're in Quartzsite with all these RVers, so you're networking.
All the time, yeah.
Right. So those are good places to find work. So like we said, it was actually Living Light RV that had asked us these questions, asked us to answer these questions. And one of their questions was, what questions should have we asked that we didn't? And that is, do I have to have experience for these jobs? And the answer is no. I can't think of a job that we haven't been able to get because of lack of experience.
Right, and we were I was a teacher for over 30 years, so I had no retail experience. I had no, obviously, campground hosting experience. None of these things were things I ever had experience on. But they're like, that's okay. We want you. You're likable. Let's hire you, and we'll train you.
Yeah.
So
people want hard workers. They want smiles. They want you to just be willing to learn. So you don't have to have experience to be a campground host or any of these things.
Work at a warehouse or...
Our first job offer that we didn't take because of just a situation was actually at a dude ranch.
Oh yeah.
We had no experience, working at a dude ranch, but that job was offered before they even asked us, have you ever ridden a horse? Or, So, no, you don't have to have experience. So, other important questions, just really quick, is your taxes. You want to talk about taxes?
Yeah, we generally like to. Now, sometimes it's not always the case. And in fact, last year we had to fill out state income tax for 3 different states. I hate taxes. I don't like filling them out. I don't like paying to have other people do my taxes. But I had to do that. And it's a pain in the butt.
Right, so you got to consider that every time you go to a different state to work, you're going to have to fill out taxes for that state, unless you go to a state that does not have state income tax. Am I saying that right? Right.
So South Dakota, Texas, Florida, Nevada, Wyoming, I know there's a handful of other ones, are all states that do not require a state income tax. So if that's important to you, and it is to me, that's kind of one of the things I'm always looking towards, that direction. Where can I go where I don't have to fill out the forms?
Yeah. Okay, so think about taxes and what that's going to look like and feel like. Think about your insurance. We have we're just going to be linking a bunch of videos below. So if you have a lot of questions, just start watching our videos. We would love to have you do that. And then finally, make sure that you record every job that you go to. That's something that we didn't know, something that people didn't tell us at the beginning when we started work camping. Obviously, we didn't know to ask this question. And this is true even for people that aren't work campers, but especially for work campers. Every time you do a new job, write down the day that you started, the day that you finish, your supervisor, the phone number, the address, all of these things. Because when you go to apply for another job and they want your work experience, for work campers, that's a real pain in the booty, Yeah. So, but if you have all of that stuff written down, it makes it so much easier, because you're going to have a lot more jobs than you would if you weren't a full-time RVer.
Well, that's one of the huge advantages, again, of Work Camper News, is the fact that you can keep updating your resume.
Yeah, you can put it all in there, and it's
still fresh in your mind. Don't wait 3 years.
Shadows.
Not that we have that experience.
Look, I don't have shadows here. I'm just going to stay here.
Okay, sounds good.
But I think we're about done.
Yes, we are.
If you have any other questions about work camping, put them in the comments below. We'll just make a list, and maybe we'll do another work camper video if we have a bunch of questions. Also, we always reply to your questions and comments in the, when you ask those in the comments. So. And
one more thing. We just want to say thanks to Kent and Lisa.
Yeah.
We love them so much. We can hardly wait to get back and see them again, hopefully this year in Quartzsite, if they'll open up the border and let them back across.
Yeah, they're in Canada.
Yeah. We so appreciate all that they do for the RV community. Yeah. And thank them for asking us.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you'll find their channel linked below, so go check them out. Okay, are we done? Are we good?
We are.
All right. Until next week, this is Grassroots Living, reminding you to get down to the grassroots of what makes you happy and live your love.
We're thinking of you, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace out.